like I said before we got started, just want to say I've been a fan for perhaps close to 30 years. So it's pretty cool to be able to talk. There's going to be people out there. I like throwing some curveballs at the beginning. There's going to be people out there that have never heard a song by Weezer. So I am curious, if someone has never heard anything by Weezer, what is the first thing you'd like them listening to and why?
Oh, I find it hard to believe. I think a lot of people think they've never heard a song by Weezer, but then when you play them Island in the Sun or Beverly Hills or something, they're like, oh yeah, I've heard Weezer. But yeah, start there. Why not? Island in the Sun. Closing in on 1 billion streams.
It's such a crazy number.
Yeah.
What's our latest single, Rivers, from last record?
Our last record didn't have a single. Maybe.
What was our last record? I mean, there's so many of them.
We had a cover of Africa that got pretty big on the radio. And
okay, we had Black and then Van Weezer.
Okay, Human.
I would have somebody listen to. I know what I'm thinking of. All my favorite songs. One of my favorite records of ours is our Okay Human record. I'd like them here.
We put down the electric guitars and played along with an orchestra. So that was a real treat for us.
You guys have been able to tour the planet, and I'm just curious and perform for all sorts of people. When was the last time you guys were actually nervous before stepping on stage to perform for someone or a group?
Well, I was nervous at the shoot for this movie, Family Switch.
You know, that is a good question, because at some point, as far as playing like a Weezer set, the nerves kind of, for me, just sort of vanished. And I don't know, I can't pinpoint when exactly that was, but a lot of it has to do with preparation and being prepared. And also knowing the material so well. So it is kind of also good to have new material and do things that don't necessarily make you nervous, but make you excited. And that's kind of the goal to staying, like, you know, we're keeping it fresh for yourself.
I was going to say, I think I was nervous a few months ago. We opened for Kiss at their last show ever in Australia, and they're like my childhood heroes. And I walked out on stage, and it's this massive stadium filled with Kiss fans, and of course everyone in the audience has the Kiss makeup, so it looked like thousands of Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley staring back at me as I was trying to sing Weezer songs. So it was pretty nerve-wracking.
I actually went to a premiere in Hollywood, and I was seated next to Gene and his family, and it took everything in my heart to just not talk to them about Kiss, because Gene was right next to me, and I was like, it's Gene Simmons.
Yeah, those are the real rock stars there.
I mean, for real. So Rivers, you mentioned you were a little nervous. You actually have like real dialogue in Family Switch, not just a word or even one sentence, like real dialogue. So how nervous were you before stepping on set to do something like that, which is definitely not in your normal wheelhouse?
Yeah, actually, it really helped to have Brian there, because he's been taking acting lessons, and I could see how he was preparing, and he would give me help from time to time, like, oh, this is what we should do, this is what you should think about, and it gave me a lot of reassurance as I was.
I don't remember saying any of that stuff, but I do remember thinking the training that I've had over, started maybe in 2017 and then through Zoom, et cetera, going, okay, you've this is not over, past you or whatever. This is something that you can handle. It's just Ed Helms, like just make him the focus of your attention. I think I might have said something like that, and everything will be fine. The movie's not about us. It's about the situation. It's about the story. And McGee was, the director was so easy to work with and made us feel so comfortable in this world where we really only had what's called sides. We didn't have the script to sort of understand like where we fit in and where these lines belong, because it is a comedy. And we said actually there was a whole scene that got cut out. Maybe a DVD version will have that scene. And there are many lines that we actually said that got cut out as well. So it was all about for them making it work with the pacing of the movie. So that's why everything kind of was like, pop, 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 you know, and it's a lighthearted, all-inclusive family Christmas movie.
Oh,
and
no,
it
100%.
at that. And
also, it's a
great
body swap movie, which is just
a body swap movie. Yeah. Which to me, it was the original Jodie Foster Freaky Friday. Was I saw it in the theater, kind of, you know, blew me away how fun it was. And then watching it again as an adult, you realize, oh my God, the mother was only about 20 years old and could ride a skateboard.
That's a whole other thing. I actually want to ask you guys a body swap question, but
okay.
I want to pull it into rock, into, you know, music, which is if you guys could switch places, switch bodies with any previous person in the music industry, who would you switch places with and why?
I would like Pavarotti. Is that his name? Yeah. They have a voice that just was filled up a room. I'd like to know what that feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Josh Groban. And that could be Sweeney Todd on Broadway. I think that'd be cool.
I am curious, Rivers, have you ever thought about scoring or like a TV show or a movie, or has the band been ever asked to score a film a la like with music, or maybe the way Queen did, you know, Flash Gordon or Highlander?
That would be cool. Yeah.
We've surely been asked. I'm sure about it.
Nobody's asked the band. I was asked to do a few songs for a movie that came out. Was it last year?
Oh yeah, that was cool movie.
Kelsey Grammer,
songwriter, right? Yeah, it was really great. It was the guy who plays Frasier.
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer, yeah. And this girl that was on a show called The Affair, the daughter from The Affair. I can't remember her name, but she's quite pretty. But it was a very good show.
The Space Between. And it was really cool because it was about a singer-songwriter like in the James Taylor or like Elliott Smith vein. And so I got to like step into this other role and write from a completely different perspective, like very acoustic, introspective. And at first it was hard, and I just kind of sent them basically Weezer songs, and the music director was like, no. And eventually I got it, and it was super fun. So you can find that on Spotify.
I know that you guys have a lot of unreleased songs. Do you think you have more than what's in the Prince vault, or do you think Prince has you beat?
That's a good question.
I think we have more because we're closer to the digital era. And so I think more of my life has been recorded into a cell phone and voice notes. Like I record everything, and there's just an endless supply. I'm
just imagining, do you guys think you have 1,000 or even 2,000 unreleased songs? Is it like a level like that? Or do you think like songs that if you could actually push play and it's a full song, or is it a lot of like snippets and ideas, but not fully fledged compositions?
Well, I have a website called weezify.web.app, and they're all up there, at least up through like 2018. And there's about 3,500. Now, a lot of those are exactly what you described, snippets or like alternate versions of another song. So I don't know. I'd say, yeah, there's got to be at least 1,000 unique songs.
Have you guys thought about doing? And
I have to want to interject. I have an app that Rivers made.
Wait, Brian. Don't tell anybody about that.
Okay, sorry. I don't have an app that Rivers made. I was I was more said this not to rub that in for all those Weezer fans that wish they didn't have an app that Weezer didn't make, Rivers didn't make, but just to say that this guy knows code well enough to make an app, like that's crazy.
I won't get you in any trouble. I'll switch to something else. We are approaching the 30th anniversary of the Blue album, which is May of next year. I know that you guys were thinking about or are thinking about doing something cool for the 30th anniversary. Maybe it's a box set. Maybe it's, I don't know actually what you're doing. So do you know what you're doing for the 30th anniversary? We're
putting the ideas together. It's like, it feels like the interest and the passion for that album is just off the scale. So I know the 20th anniversary, I didn't do anything. I was like, I don't care. But it's just, you can't ignore it this time. It's just this tidal wave of passion. So we are going to give it its due respect and come out with a really amazing deluxe package with a bunch of additional material. And of course, we got to do some kind of epic tour.
That's what I was going to ask you. I looked on the website last night just to see your touring schedule of next year. And I know you're playing in Oklahoma, I think on the 29th of December, and then you're doing a tour next summer. But is there something more for the Blue album that you're thinking about because it's the 30th anniversary?
Yeah, I think the public tour dates cut off in June, and then there's like this very suspicious blank space in our calendar for the months after that. So I'd keep your eye on that.
Right, exactly. For fans, I am curious if you are planning on releasing new music anytime soon, perhaps next year, or what have you guys been working on, if anything?
Well, yeah, we're always working on. We just had a big listening session at my house. All the guys came over, played them a bunch of demos, and they gave me their thoughts and feedback, and it's very exciting. And then we all went and played pickleball. So
if only I had an app that had all these songs, but I don't. But all I know is that listening party, I was stoked what I was hearing. I think Weezer fans are going to be stoked, and I think even non-Weezer fans, people maybe not even heard of Weezer, are going to know of us finally. These songs are great.
This is the album, number 20.
Yeah. I have complete.
It's almost a shame it's the 30th anniversary because I want people to hear these new songs, but we might be through our just the laws of the universe have to do something for the 30th because it is a big deal.
Yeah, our manager said the problem is if you put out a new album at the same time as your 30th anniversary celebration of your first album, nobody's going to pay attention to the new one. It just gets lost.
I want to know what metric somebody figured that out, because how many bands are around that long to that have new music to put out that same year? Yeah. I bet very few.
I know one. Green Day is doing it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're kind of watching to see what happens to them.
Our brothers from another punk world.
I actually understand where your manager's coming from and think that it makes sense as much as I want to hear new Weezer music. But that's just me just speaking. But I'm almost out of time, and I have two questions I really want to ask you guys.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed. Do you know the band Coheed and Cambria?
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed their song "Jesse's Girl 2" with Rick Springfield. Like, it's very catchy and it's different than what they've done. And they made a sequel song with the original guide to some. It was a really good song. So I wanted to know if you guys ever thought about essentially writing a sequel to a popular song either that you've done or somebody else has done.
Is it I Wish I Had Jesse's Girl TOO?
No, it's like literally. You should, after this conversation, listen to it on Spotify or wherever. It's catchy as fuck. It doesn't make sense how good it is. And they did it with Rick Springfield. It's really like a sequel to the song 30 years later.
Amazing. I'll check that out. Yes, we do have a sequel. It's called CEO, and it's going to be on our next album. It's a sequel to the Sweater Song. It's totally meta and mind-bending.
Are you joking or being completely serious?
Completely serious. Back me up, Brian.
I don't know if am I allowed? as of now, there was a song called CEO.
I cannot believe that my question led to that, which is, I mean, Sweater Song's one of my all-time favorites, so I can't wait to hear it. The other thing I really wanted to ask you guys, obviously AI is something that everyone is talking about in the movie industry and in the TV industry with actors, but it's also a very significant thing with the music industry. And I wanted to know what you guys both think about AI and how AI might affect the music industry going forward.
You mean for creators or for the business side?
I think for everything, because, you know, people could now essentially, I mean, maybe I'm wrong about this, but they could go in and say, I want AI to create a song like Weezer. And, you know, they can sort of do that with.
I want that.
That's what we've been trying to do for 30 years.
Make my job easier.
No, but I am curious what you guys think about AI and its place in the music industry and what could possibly happen.
Well, on the business side, I have no idea. I have no idea how the business works anymore, but I'm sure it's going to have a big impact. I'm just the wrong person to ask. On the creative side, so far, it's been just a brilliant tool, and I'm having a lot of fun using it. When we put out our last record, before it came out, I put up my lyrics to one of our songs, and I had ChatGPT write a song with the same title, and I posted them both on Twitter and said, which do you think is the real Weezer? And I won the battle on that day, but I think the day is coming where we're going to get beat. So we'll see.
I think we'll always need a human element in music, and I don't. You know, a lot of their stuff I'm hearing, I'm like, wow, I don't even, is this music? I feel obsolete, but, and I'm sure it'll even get worse with AI. But, and that being said, there's things we can do that the AI will never be able to do. So not too concerned. And I feel like I like music that feels real. And so far it hasn't tricked me yet.
Yeah, my big thing and what I've talked about with a lot of people is the fact that right now it's like AI is like the first iPhone. And what I'm afraid about and what I think people are nervous about is what it's going to be like when you get to the iPhone 14 with AI, you know, and or iPhone 15 and how much more advanced it is. But conversation for another day. Gentlemen, I could ask you 1,000 other questions, but I am already.
It'll have face recognition.
Oh, it's going to be scary, but Rivers just already demonstrated with ChatGPT that it, you know, it's in its infancy with being able to write a Weezer song. But in 10 years,
and we have fun with it on tour. We're like, write a country song in the vein of, you know, it was some crazy idea, and it will laugh our ass off about the lyrics that come out. It is what it is.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. But listen, gentlemen, I really want to thank you for your time. Like I said, I have 1,000 other questions, but I'm out of time.